All right. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to call to order this public meeting for Tuesday, September 20th at 7 o'clock. Council, there's been an agenda that's been circulated. Are there any errors or omissions from the agenda as presented? Hearing none, will somebody please move adoption of the agenda?
So
Moved
moved.
by Councillor Hanson, second by Councillor Forbes. Call the question on the motion. All those in favor? Contrary minded? Motion carries. Thank you very much. This meeting is called to hear the public's input on a childcare business license application. I have a little bit of a script that I'm going to read up front, and then I'm going to go to members of the public or staff. Did you want to comment right before members of the public? And so I'm going to come to staff and the applicant to have an opportunity to speak, and then we're going to go through the list of speakers that we have signed up. If we get to the end of the list of speakers and there's still interest to speak, I'm going to be going around making sure that others have an opportunity to speak either virtually through their virtual hand being raised or in person here as well. Just to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to comment. So first, I have a bit of a script that I read at the front end here. I'll get going on that right now. Council is seeking input for the public with respect to the issuance of a proposed childcare facility business license for Ms. Fatima Kouche, owner of Glow and Grow Children's Center at 705 Blythewood Drive. This meeting is being held in a hybrid format, meaning there's a combination of in-person and electronic participation by some or all members of council, staff, and the public. Public participation in this meeting is being accommodated by speakers having signed up in advance as stated in the notice of meeting, as well as observers being provided the Zoom meeting information on the DNV website and in the notice of motion. Those observing the meeting via Zoom who did not sign up in advance to speak but decide to, so once the meeting is underway, may either use the raise hand function if participating using a computer, or press *9 on your telephone keypad if you're participating by telephone. The electronic means being employed for this meeting allow for effective two-way audio and video communications via the Zoom software. As always, written submissions will be received by the municipal clerk on behalf of and shared with council at any time up to the time the meeting is closed. These may be submitted to input@dnv.org. Therefore, in this manner, all persons will be afforded a reasonable opportunity to be heard and to present written submissions. The chair has established the following rules of order for this meeting. We will first go through the established list of speakers. At the end of the speakers list, the chair may call for any other speakers not on the speakers list, and speakers in the council chamber will raise their hand. Those participating through Zoom will raise their virtual hand, and if you're participating by telephone, again, *9 to raise your hand. You will have 5 minutes to address your council for a first time. Begin your remarks to council by stating your name. After everyone who wishes to speak has spoken once, speakers will then be allowed one additional 5-minute opportunity. Any additional presentations will only be allowed at the discretion of the chair. Please do not repeat information from your previous presentations and ensure your comments remain focused on the application under consideration this evening. If you've provided a written submission, there's no need to read it as it will have already been seen by council. You may summarize or briefly reiterate the highlights of your submission, but ensure your comments pertain to the application under consideration at this meeting. Some important notes about public meetings. Council is here to listen to the public, not to debate the merits of the application. Council may ask clarifying questions. The clerk has a binder containing documents and submissions related to the application which council has received and which you are welcome to review. This is also available online at dnv.org/agenda. Everyone at the meeting will be provided an opportunity to speak. Finally, please note that this meeting is being streamed live over the internet and recorded in accordance with the Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act. And just before I go over to staff, I will say that we do have most of the council present here. So joining us online, we have Councillors Murray, Bond, and Curran. And here in the House, we have Councillor Forbes, myself, and Councillor Hanson. Councillor Back has expressed his regrets. And if he wants to vote on the matter, he'll have to review the recording before he participates in the item. At this point, I'm going to call on Shannon Lammy, our community planner, to make a staff presentation. Or Ms. Atba, are you doing opening remarks first? Or there we go, Ms. Atba first, and then Shannon Lammy.
Thank you very much, Mayor Little. Good evening, members of Mayor and Council. Good evening, community members who are here in the chambers and those virtually joining today. My name is Tina Atfa. I'm the manager of the Community Planning Department here at the district. At the district, we do have a number of policies and bylaws and plans that relate to childcare, and the staff presentation will go over some of these tonight. But I always like to come back to our biggest plan, our official community plan, which has the vision of communities that are healthy for everybody and welcoming for everybody. Our OCP also says that our young should have a safe, healthy environment in which to grow and succeed. Local governments, such as us, are one of the many critical players when it comes to regulating and childcare, but one of our goals is to maintain and grow the number of quality and affordable childcare spaces that we have. With your worship's permission, I'd like to now turn it over to Shannon Lambie, who will deliver the staff presentation.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you. All right. Should it be displaying? My presentation, will it display on the slides if I put into presenter mode?
Yeah, get going.
Okay,
I'll
great.
Figure out how to do that. It should be sharing over.
Perfect.
Zoom.
Okay, that's excellent. Thank you. Good evening, Your Worship and members of council. My name is Shannon Lambie, and I am a community planner with the District of North Vancouver. I'm here tonight to provide a very brief overview of the business license application of Glow and Grow Children's Center, located at 705 Blythewood Drive in the Delbrook neighborhood. This presentation includes 10 slides and will take approximately 6 minutes. The purpose of this public meeting tonight is to provide an opportunity for any interested resident to share their views with council regarding this application, which proposes an increase in capacity at an existing childcare facility. As per the childcare facility business regulation bylaw, applications proposing care for 11 to 20 children in a residential building must be referred to a public meeting. They will then subsequently be considered by council at a regular council meeting. Public notification for this meeting has been conducted in accordance with the bylaw. The applicant has been operating Glow and Grow Children's Center from her home located at 705 Blythewood Drive since January 2021. They are currently licensed to provide group childcare to 8 multi-age children and are currently at capacity with more children waiting to attend. The district's planning guidelines for home-based group childcare were updated in 2014. These planning guidelines are intended to assist staff when reviewing applications for more than 8 children in residential areas. The planning guidelines offer a number of considerations, which I will go through in relation to this application. The first consideration we have is the location. So this facility is located in the Delbrook neighborhood at the corner of Blythewood Drive and Delbrook Avenue. Delbrook Avenue is a collector road which provides good accessibility to Westview Drive. There's also a number of community amenities located in close proximity to the facility. This includes Delbrook Fields, a playground at Delbrook Field, and Delbrook Community Center. There are 9 other childcare facilities located in the Delbrook neighborhood that provide care to children of various ages. Each of these facilities that provides full-day childcare is at capacity. The next consideration we have are the transportation needs. So the planning guidelines recommend a childcare facility providing care for 16 children should have a minimum of 4 parking stalls. However, only 2 are required by the zoning bylaw. There are 3 stalls located on site at Glow and Grow, and the applicant has confirmed that a maximum of 4 staff, including herself and her partner, will be working at the facility at any given time. District staff have reviewed this proposal and find that 3 stalls is sufficient because this meets the zoning bylaw. There's also safe and non-disruptive vehicle parking available on Delbrook in close proximity to the facility, and parents drop their children off using a variety of transportation methods. This includes driving, biking, walking, and busing. There is also a bus stop located within 50 meters of the facility. The next consideration we have is the neighborhood character. So this neighborhood is characterized by single-family homes and playing fields. The facility does have 1 residential neighbor to the west. However, there is a 5-foot-tall wood fence which runs around the perimeter of the property, which is designed to mitigate noise and privacy impacts. The next consideration we have is the facility's design. So this childcare operation will take place on the main floor of this 2-story home. This space has large windows which provides access to natural light and fresh air. There's also a strong connection between the indoor and the outdoor play space, with the outdoor space offering sufficient room for children to play at a maximum of 19 meters squared per child. This exceeds the provincial licensing requirement of 7 meters squared per child. And finally, we have neighborhood consultation. An open house was held for neighbors on the evening of July 14th, and letters were mailed out to neighbors within a 50-meter radius 10 days in advance inviting them to attend. Prior to the open house, district staff did receive one email from a concerned resident who expressed issues related to parking and traffic. These concerns were communicated to the applicant, who expressed that parents are aware that this is an issue in the neighborhood and they do not park on Blythewood Drive or block the intersection when dropping off their children. On the evening of July 14th, five parents attended the open house to express their support for the application and to advocate for more childcare spaces in the district. They were also on hand to discuss any issues related to parking or traffic that concerned neighbors might have. However, no neighbors attended the open house on that evening. At this time, the applicant is not aware of any other concerns, but has expressed a commitment to work with neighbors should any arise. In closing, childcare is an essential building block in the creation of safe, healthy, and livable communities, and Council has a policy objective to increase the number of childcare spaces in the district and approved the Childcare Action Plan in 2020 to make this a possibility. This includes the addition of 2,055 additional group childcare spaces in the district, specifically 82 for school-aged children and 16 for preschool-aged children in the Stelbrook neighborhood where Glow and Grow is located. That concludes my presentation. However, I'm happy to take any questions that your worship or council may have.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Shannon Lammy, for your comments. At this point, I'm going to call on the applicant to come up, and if they'd like to say anything, they're welcome to.
Hi.
Hi, welcome.
Thank you for your time. Okay, let me just.
You have presentation as well?
Yeah, should I slide mode? Oh, okay, there we go. Okay, my name is Fatama Kouche, and I've been in education as far as I can remember. I've been having experience teaching from the time I was 18 years old, and I continued when we immigrated to Canada actually 10 years ago with my husband, and our kids, both of them were born here. Now there are 5 and 7, but they were the main reason for me to go to Capilano University and learn about childhood. So, and then after that, of course, I started my in-home daycare. One of the main concerns that I had was to spend time as much as we can outside the building, like to be outdoors and spend time in nature to help them build that connection with nature just as myself during my childhood. So that was the main idea, to kind of like starting a daycare that we spend most of the time outside, and we just chose this location to benefit from whatever we can find, like the streams, the creeks, and all the things that we can find and spend time with all the children during that time. I cannot say it is a motto, but something that I believe in is we want to play, live, explore, and play every moment with the children to make it memorable for them, and to just like make sure that we enjoyed our moments as much as we could, because we know that they will never come back. We do go on lots of adventures with children during the week. These are some of the pictures that I just chose to show you what we do with them. And as Shannon also mentioned, we started our daycare back in 2018. And that was the time that I noticed that there is a very high demand. Like in less than a week, we had our full capacity with all the children that were interested to start, especially between the age 0 to 3. And also when our first location, we didn't have enough space to have more than 8 children. That was the reason we decided to move to a different location to be able to expand our daycare. And when we moved to our new location, we did the modifications to the building based on the needs of our licensing, Vancouver Coastal Health, and also the Building and Development Department of District of North Vancouver. The reason for us to choose this location was because it was very close to Delbrook Community Center, Delbrook soccer field and baseball field. We don't even need to cross the street to be able to benefit from the soccer field and tennis court or the playground, which is on the other side of it. And also it is very close to forests that we spend lots of time there during the summer. I can say even we serve lunches and snacks there as well. And then we just take the children back to the center to take their naps. And then after nap, again, we are outside. So, and we are very close to most of the schools in the neighborhood. Braemar, Larson, Highlands, it's just like 10 to 15-minute walk from our location to those schools. And also we did not receive any concerns from our neighbors. Before we purchased this property, we went and talked to them and they said like they don't see a problem to have a daycare in the neighborhood. And these are some of the pictures again that we do with the children. I mostly take the pictures from their back because of the children's privacy. That's the reason you don't see their faces, sorry. The reason for us to expand is, first of all, there is a high demand. We have a wait list of, I think about 12 children who are aware that we might be able to make our center bigger, and they are just waiting for us to let them know if they can come and register. They're on our wait list right now. And some of the parents need to go back to work. Some have their one of their kids at our center and they want to register the other child there. And the other reason was just like, as I said, I always wanted this for my own kids. And I think like all the parents who are with our program want the same thing for their children, to spend as much time as possible in nature and outdoors. So they choose our program because they see that that is the main focus of our program. And also like we really want to have this safe environment for the children to feel the sense of belonging and to kind of like have these developmental stages in the positive way and in the best positive way, actually, I can say. And the more children we have, the more diverse our small community will be, because it is not just to have children or to just care for children. I would say not during COVID time, of course, but before that, we had lots of different things going on at our center. Like we had art galleries that the parents would gather, or we had like Halloween celebration, Christmas party. So for we just wanted to have all these parents to gather together, the children feel comfortable with different parents at the center. And I would say like, I can say so far we kind of consider ourselves quite successful in that. The children felt quite comfortable talking with adults, communicating with other parents and so on. These are some of the other things that we've been doing. Like we took children to downtown Vancouver, we took them to Maplewood Farm, to the Ecology Center in Lynn Valley. It takes us a while to get to these places, but we always arrange different things. Like when we went to the Ecology Center, we asked them to give us a room for our children who needed to take naps. So we could spend the whole day there instead of just coming back to the center after an hour or two. And the children definitely loved it and enjoyed their time there. And this is one of the concerns that we had, and Shannon mentioned too. It is just like there is a mailbox at the intersection, Blythewood and Delbrook intersection, and people just park there to mail their letters or parcels. And I would say if you look at it, you might think that, okay, the parents are doing this, but it can be anyone in the neighborhood. It's not necessarily just the parents of the daycare. And they kindly were asked when they registered at the center, they were asked to use the just Delbrook Street or our driveways, or even like the soccer field spaces. Most of the time we spend our afternoons there, and parents even park their cars at soccer field to pick their kids up. They're not even at the center. So I would say traffic this way kind of like was resolved from the time we started. And also some of our parents even walk or use public transit or bike to the center and do drop off and pick up that way. So And what do we need to be able to expand is just like we already resolved the issue or the concern that we received from our neighbors or from someone who just sent an email. And we do have families who are really willing to start. The demand is still really high in the district of North Van. We have our team of educators, including myself. I have my ECE and I'm an infant toddler specialist. We do have an ECPN community pedagogist. She works with, I think, like 5 or 6 daycares on the North Shore and West Vancouver and North Vancouver. And we are one of them that she comes and visits us every week. And we do like educational support for the children. The things we do are not just simple activities. So even there are simple drawings to us. We sit for hours and we talk about them, how to continue that and how to expand that with other explorations that children can have. I still have the support from my professors at Capilano University that they're still in touch with me whenever I need some support, educational support. I'm contacting them. We do have the resources and furniture for expanding our daycare. We're almost done with our renovations. It's just like the final approvals are remain that we need to get, and we do have the spacious indoor and outdoor area at our current location. And the reason for us today is just to get the business license approved that we can continue and move on with our project. And these are the pictures of our like 2 rooms that we have already ready and the resources that I have and the outdoor. This is just one of the yards that we have at this current location. And these are our teams, team of educators. Myself, my husband got his ECE just because I don't know if you're aware or not, but there is a very shortage in ECE educators. It's really hard to find them, and for that. So we did it as a family. I have my husband on our team. I have my sister on our team, both as educators. And I'm sure if my parents were living here, they would have joined us too. But the other one is Michelle McNaughton. She's actually a friend of mine who we used to teach at a college in downtown Vancouver. And when I started, she took the course and she started helping us as well. And we have Marjan Kordestani, she has more than 18 years experience in education, and she is part of our team as well. So, and this is the last word that I would probably, it's better that I read through it. So expanding our childcare center will benefit the community by offering families the opportunity to bring their young children to a place that is professional and safe and where they can flourish and learn. We will fill a gap that is felt not only in our district, but in the whole country. Please consider this proposal and allow us to support our lively and family-oriented community. And for my last word without the PowerPoint, this childcare or daycare has never been a business to me. It has been my whole life. Like the time that I spend with children, it is something that it is not replaceable with anything. My business part of my brain or myself is terrible. I never calculate, okay, how much will it cost us if we want to do this? I just go for it because that's the need for the day. And that's how I would treat my own children. And I think like as parents, if you're parents, you'll know that this is what we want for our children. And it's always been the case for me. And that's it. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Right. So at this point, so we have public speakers list, as I said in the instructions at the beginning. Speakers can speak for up to 5 minutes. Now, if I were giving some advice, I think there's a lot of people here that are big fans and supporters, and I would encourage you, if somebody has already said what you've said, probably let the time pass, or just make a quick comment, or just say that you're an affirmative supporter. But there's no need to repeat all of the comments. I'm sure you have all had a similar experience with the facility, and so But at this point, I'm going to start at the top of the list. The first speaker is Darren Gibson, followed by Catherine Brigden. Darren Gibson, your comments? Welcome. You have 5 minutes to address the council.
Good evening. My name is Darren Gibson. I'm a resident of District of North Vancouver. I've already warned them that I have a long thing, so they're probably just going to say what he said. I'm here tonight to speak in support of the application to amend the childcare business license for Glow and Grow. For a bit of history, my wife, son, and I moved to North Vancouver in early 2020. Both before coming here and after, we spent a lot of time trying to find a daycare spot, but weren't successful. We were put on long wait lists, or simply told just to try elsewhere because there's no room on the wait list. As a result of being unable to find childcare, my wife was actually unable to return to the workforce as planned. We did eventually find a spot later in 2020, really probably mainly due to the fact that it was a new daycare that opened and because of COVID. But ultimately, we didn't find that daycare as a good fit. In early 2021, we set out again on the daunting task of finding a different daycare. And after a number of failed attempts, we lucked out finding Fatima's daycare, as she had recently opened in that location and had an open spot. And we've had a great experience, and our son has been very happy there. Location-wise, the center we find is ideal. There's playgrounds, schools, open spaces, forests, streams, etc., all within walking distance. And being on sort of the Westview Delbrook corridor, the center has been very easily accessible by both car and transit for myself and my wife. The children at Glow and Grow, they spend a significant time outside, as was said, whether it's in the very large yard or the places nearby. They get to spend time pretend fishing in the streams, learning about the berries and the bugs, adventuring in the forest, climbing trees, playing soccer, and lots of other activities at the local field. One thing I sort of appreciate, and might sound funny, but they even get to play with sticks and rocks, which seems to be rare nowadays, but they learn to do it in a very responsible manner, obviously. The strong emphasis on outdoors was really a game changer with our son. Many of the centers we find when we're looking at them, they have attached playgrounds, which always seems wonderful, but really you can only explore an enclosed playground so many times before you've discovered everything. And that's sort of some of the issues we ran into with our son. He just became a bit disinterested in the first daycare. At Glow and Grow, the outdoors literally has been his playground. And I really have a huge appreciation for what she has done, because it gives really him an opportunity to grow up in the world similar to what I did, as opposed to a very controlled and whatnot space. The last note I did want to make in relation to the district's childcare action plan. I obviously very much appreciate the district's efforts in this respect and recognizing this is a priority. I would ask council to keep in mind, parents don't necessarily care about maps and artificially drawn boundaries, and convenience doesn't always mean the closest location. The reason I bring this up is my wife and I, we live in what's identified under the plan as Upper Capilano, and I know that is identified as a significantly underserviced area in the action plan. Glow and Grow itself is part of North Lonsdale Delbrook, which I believe is still underserved, but not to the same extent as Upper Capilano. But for us, because of its accessibility and proximity to Westview on-ramp to the freeway, it's basically extremely convenient location for families living in the Upper Capilano area. And for us, practically speaking, it's much more convenient than any spaces that would potentially even open up in the Upper Capilano area. So again, understand there's maps and areas, but they don't necessarily translate into what parents will want and need, and that location is a great location. Just in summary, obviously everybody knows childcare spots are in high demand and only growing. So I just wish to strongly encourage council to approve the application to support more families like mine. Thank you.
Thank you, Darren Gibson, for your presentation. Great to hear. I also pretend to fish from time to time. Next speaker I have is Catherine Brigden, followed by Golriz Reze.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. My name is Catherine Brigden. I just will touch on, I think Darren did a great job, so I'll just touch on a couple of comments. When my son was born, I had people asking me, well, where are you waitlisted for daycare? Like, oh, okay, I better get on this. Why didn't you waitlist before while you were thinking about getting pregnant, And so, with that in mind, I, did my homework and did a lot of research about the right daycare. And I was so happy to find Glow and Grow. It, not only did I have a spot so I could go back to work, but also, as a daycare, I was really excited about. My son has thrived there, so much so that we were with Fatima at the previous location, and without a doubt, we moved with her over to her new location because the childcare is so great. So I hope that there will be an opportunity for her to continue to grow her business so that there'll be more spots for more children. Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine Brigden. I appreciate the nature of the applause, or I will say that for people who may have a different position, we try not to do applause just so that they feel welcome as well. Golriz Reze, followed by Lauren Duboisset-Bruce. Golriz Reze.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for giving me the information, the opportunity to speak up at this gathering. So Darren and Catherine touched up on all the important points. I just wanted to emphasize on the necessity for having more childcare facilities. I will give you my personal incident that happened in March 2022. We had to move to North Vancouver in a short period of time. It was on a short notice, and then with all the changes and everything, I got a new job at that time and everything. I couldn't find a daycare in that short period of time. I was searching everywhere, no luck, and so it took me a month to find Fatima's daycare Grow and Glow. But unfortunately, because of that much of pressure and not being able to find a suitable childcare, I lost my job. But still, I was happy that I found Fatima, and she and her team know what they are doing. Specifically, like with difficult children, like my kid, she was very patient, and I really appreciate what she does for our kids, and with providing all different activities, the variety of exposure to nature, to experiences. So little by little, our family could get back on track. So yeah, so I hope that the council gives this opportunity to Fatima and Grow and Glow Daycare. And the rest of the things, the parking issue and everything, is exactly as everybody mentioned. Specifically, our family, we were walking distance, so we would go and pick her up or drop her off. And then I see other families, they pretty much do the same. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Next speaker is Lauren Duboisset-Bruce, followed by Megan Nosek. Welcome.
Hi, thank you. So my name is Lauren, and I'll try not to repeat what has been said too much. But we were living in Vancouver before, my partner and I, and we had been on the wait list of maybe 10 different daycares in Vancouver. And so we tried to expand our horizon and look at North Vancouver. And the reason why we chose Glow and Grow was because of the nature access that we couldn't get in Vancouver. We wanted our child to grow up in the mud with its hands in the dirt and going to the stream and go to the forest. And so it actually was the reason why we moved from Vancouver to North Vancouver, because we wanted Marlo to be one of the Glow and Grow children. So this was a big decision for us to move there, and we couldn't have been happier with the decision.
Marlo's been there for a year and a half, and it's not only about nature, it's also about the trust that we have in Fatime and her team. Um, our kid is very happy, very excited to go to daycare, very excited to play in the forest and try so many different activities like taekwondo or pastry, baking. They're just doing so many different things, and just adding to it, what I also love about it is the cultural diversity that we have there. Having one of the staff speak French, for example, was a big factor for us as well, being a bilingual family and having just as many. I think they have some workshops about diversity and different cultures and the different flags and the different languages that it each speak, and I find it very satisfying for kids to grow up that way. So yeah, we're both very happy, my partner and I, and couldn't be happier with the service provided, and we're showing just a strong support to Fatima and the team. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Next speaker is Megan Nosik, followed by Soraya Verji. And I believe Megan Nosik is logged in virtually. Okay, I can't hear. Oh, there we go.
Hi, sorry about that. Good evening, everyone. My name is Megan Nozek. I live at 445 Mont Royal Boulevard in the district of North Vancouver. And tonight I'm speaking in support of the application to increase the number of children at Glow and Grow Daycare. I think everybody's kind of covered what I've I feel, but one situation that I'm currently in, my daughter attends Glow and Grow, but I also have a 9-month-old son, and I've had him on wait lists, since before he was born at multiple locations in and around the district. And I still haven't found a spot for him. And, I need to go back to work in January. It's a very stressful situation when you haven't found childcare. Especially considering my family relies on that income to afford living here. So we certainly need more spaces in the district. And, I know that other people have said this, but I really, really love the program that they're running at Glow and Grow. My daughter hasn't been there for that long, but she's certainly thriving. Even from her first day, she didn't want me to take her home when typically there would be a transition period. She didn't want to leave. And that access to outdoor time. I grew up myself on Bowen Island. And so certainly that's close to my heart to be, have my children be able to be in nature. And they really treat the children like one of the family as well as all of the activities and new experiences that they have. So I really hope you'll consider this application. It's really important. We see more spaces, especially spaces like what Glow and Grow can offer. So yeah, thank you for your time. That's all I have to say.
Great. Thank you very much for your comments. Next speaker I have is Soraya Verji, followed by Azadeh Rezazadeh. There you go. Sorry.
Hi. Thank you. Well, thank you. My name is Soraya Verji. I, of course, want to agree with all my friends here who are in support of Glow and Grow, but I want to also say that I am a single mother, and I came back to Canada in 2020 because of where I was living in Haiti, and I had been living abroad, and because of insecurity, I had to suddenly move back home, and I luckily found Glow and Grow. I just want to say, as a single mother and looking for diversity, Glow and Grow has been fantastic, more in terms of the love that the family provides to the kids. And I think a lot of kids should be able to have that love that they get in the daytime as much as they get it in the night. I am a single mother, I'm busy, but he comes home super happy, and he comes home able to play by himself and do what he needs to do so that I can feed him and clothe him and work. So I just want to say that I hope other families are able to have the same experience that I can. Thank you.
Thank you, Soraya Verji. The next speaker is Azadeh Rezazadeh, followed by Tim Wilding. Welcome.
Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak as a supporter. I'm one of a North Vancouver, one of North Vancouver resident, and I live in very close to daycare's catchment. I recently moved from Langley to North Van, and it was quite challenging for me to find a good daycare. When it comes to find a daycare for your child, it's not only a matter of just finding a daycare, it's a matter of finding a good daycare. When I found Fatima and her teams, I was quite impressed by the quality of care that she's providing for the kids. She's so caring and she's so passionate about her job. As she said, she's not, the daycare is not only a business for her, it's also the activity that she really enjoyed to do, and she loves kids. And she's also a mother of two kids that she's transferring, you know, the feeling of being mother to the other kids too. I'm still on waiting list. I'm waiting for finding a spot on her childcare. I'm hoping with expanding this daycare, would be able eventually to join this team. And also, I lost the summer camp, and so sad, but hopefully I would be able to send my son to her daycare soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next, I have Tim Wilding, followed by Amir Falaki. Tim
Good
Wilding
evening.
is joining us virtually. There you go. Welcome. You have 5 minutes to address the council.
Good evening, and thank you for your time. I'm a resident of, my name is Tim Wilding. I'm a resident of North Vancouver and the father of a child attending Growing Glow. I'm appearing in support of the application, and there are three broad categories for my support. The benefits I see to the district, the locational advantages of the site, and the educator quality. In terms of district benefits, access to early childhood education is a key consideration for many families when choosing where to live. It certainly was for us when we were looking to purchase a home. And as noted by Lauren, the North Shore has more options than neighbouring communities such as Vancouver and Squamish, and that provides a competitive advantage for the district. But it is still quite difficult to secure a spot, particularly with a provider that shares a similar philosophy, and particularly for under threes who have greater requirements. So it's really great to see that the district has recognised this through the childcare action plan, and I think this action is in support of that. In terms of location advantages, I think that's been noted pretty well, so I won't really build on that. And then, yeah, I'd just like to echo a lot of the comments made around the educator quality. Fatima is passionate about childcare and truly goes above and beyond in her service, support and care for the children. She's organised and professional, and we have no doubt in her ability to manage a larger centre. Thank you for the chance to speak. Those are my comments.
Thank you very much, Tim Wilding. Next, I have Amir Falaki, followed by John Davies. Welcome.
Hi, good evening. My name is Amir Falaki. I'm Managing Director of Kiddie Care Early Learning Center in West Vancouver. So basically, we do have two centers in West Vancouver. We recently opened up the second facility this year because we had a long waiting list. We decided to open up the second facility. So within a month, we've been full capacity. And this story, the way we know Fatima, back in 2019, we were desperately looking for a childcare center for my 2-year-old daughter. So we researched in North Shore, Glow and Grow, well-known center. because of the program is a nature-based program, and we were really looking for a sign up for such a this program to be nature-based. And Fatima is very well known in the industry. She's knowledgeable, and she inspired us to open up the center. We decided, because there was a really need in childcare spaces in North Shore. So she encouraged us because my wife is an early childhood educator as well. So we decided to open up childcare center and contribute to the community in North Shore. So I thank you, her, and I definitely support her application in this regard.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Amir
Yeah.
Falaki. The next speaker I have is John Davies, followed by Andrea Steele. I believe John Davies is here in person. Welcome.
So I don't really have too much more to add. Can I just say ditto? But I really do want to emphasize how terrible the childcare situation is in the North Shore, in case you haven't gotten that message yet. Like, it's to the point where people are leaving the North Shore, or one of the partners, always, or typically the woman, is leaving their job and to stay home. So it's a bit of a desperate situation. We were lucky enough to have our 2 kids in Glow and Grow, and can't say enough good things about her. I mean, basically family. So it was a great experience, and definitely deserves to expand. So
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next speaker I have is Andrea Steele, followed by Grant McLaney. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you very much. My name is Andrea Steele, and I'm speaking today in support of Glow and Grow. I've known Fatima and her family since 2018, since our daughter started to go to her center. My partner and I don't have any extended family here in Vancouver. And so when I started looking for childcare, I very specifically wanted a licensed home-based childcare. And so I was very lucky and fortunate to have had a cancellation at a different childcare center. There was a leak, and so my first licensed home-based childcare center was no longer licensed. They couldn't provide any service to me. And at that point, that's when I found Fatima. And I'm very lucky to have done that, because she does provide a nurturing home-based program for kids. And it was important for me that my child was able to have a home-based loving environment during the day, because I did have to go back to work to help pay the bills. And so when I handed off my child at 14 months of age to Fatima, it became very clear to me shortly afterwards what a great daycare provider she is, and my child really thrived there. Now my daughter is 5 years old, and she's going to Ridgeway. She's in kindergarten, and 2 weeks in, she's confident, she's thriving there, and I think partly that is due to the basis of care and attention that she got with Fatima at her childcare center. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Andrea Steele. Grant McLaney. Welcome. You have 5 minutes to address the council.
All right, don't mind if I'm looking at my phone. I just took a couple of notes on my phone. I'm another parent of a child at Glow and Grow Daycare. My daughter is coming up on 2 years old, and she's been there for almost a year. Anecdotally, I had the same experience as a lot of other parents: high demand, not enough spaces around the community. And we must have looked at about a dozen or 15 different daycares, and this one, the quality was just, it was just clear and apparent that it was better. Some of the other daycares, the children get parked in front of television sets, or they don't have enough outdoor time. And we've just been thrilled with the experience over the last year since we've been there. And then just a word about the leader of the daycare, Fatima, who you've heard from. She truly is like a tireless worker with a supporting and loving environment for the kids. And just an anecdotal example of that is my wife and I were going to Whistler a couple of weekends ago, and we asked that Fatima if she would be able to take our children for the weekend after, of course, doing that with all the kids throughout the week. And she said, of course, and there, no need to pay me for this. And I said, well, that's crazy. Of course, we'll pay you for this. And we did. But I think that just kind of speaks to her loving and supportive viewpoint, and the fact that it's really about the families and the children as opposed to just the bottom line. So it really is a sensational place, in my opinion. Certainly very professional and safe. The outdoor aspects are just incredible and unique. And I think the location, as far as like a minimal impact on other residences, is good, as well as the proximity of the parks and the fields. The parking on a collector road or over by the soccer field, I think is good as well. I know as one of the parents, none of the parents are parking on the other Blythewood Street. We're all parking, on Delbrook or down by the soccer field, where it has a minimal impact to the community. And then just to Darren Gibson's point as well, I'm also living in Upper Capilano, and we travel down to the Delbrook area for this daycare. It's worth the trip. It's not a hardship. So it's servicing more than just Delbrook, for your information as well. And that's it.
Great, thank you so much. I think Fatima's weekends might be just booked up. I saw a bunch of parents note that Whistler trip that you got there. Well done. I have no further speakers on the list at this point. Would anybody else, virtually or in person here, like to address the council? I see a virtual hand, as well as a hand here in the house. And so I'm going to call on Corey Cost joining us virtually. Corey Cost, is just being moved over as a panelist at the moment, and should be able to speak in just a moment. Corey Cost, can you hear me? There we
yes,
go.
Your Worship. Got to turn the mic and the video on. I guess it's hard to bring my mind back to public input, because I just got off of a cruise ship, spending 10 days in Alaska, and it gives you a different perspective on life, to do those things once in a while away from the community. Anyway, I would like to share the screen. Perhaps this, if you can see this, Your Worship, you can acknowledge that you can.
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Yep.
First of all, this does seem to be a very good quality facility, and I acknowledge that despite a point I might make, that depending on the quality of the care, there can be both a positive or a negative impact on any particular child. They are unique individuals in their own way, and they don't always fit into different environments. But there has been in the past, and probably will continue to be so, that one of the issues is that there will be a change in the saleability or valuation of homes in the area that are adjacent to such developments, no matter how good the quality is. And the studies show, and I looked up a nice Norwegian study, which shows that the value drops off a bit for the adjacent properties, but rises a bit for those that are further away than that. So there's a give and take, and one has to be aware of that. And as I already mentioned, depending on the quality of the care, it can be both a positive or a negative experience. The issue tends to be, however, about noise and increased local traffic, which mildly impacts, of course, the health and safety of the residents nearby. I don't want to exaggerate that, but it does happen. The impact on the adjacent homes does depend also on whether there are people that work all day and consequently don't hear this noise, which is expected from children naturally. And it's quite different for people who are retired in their homes nearby. Most people enjoy the cycle of life, of course, of having children, but for daycares, it should be noted that this cycle doesn't really exist. There's no ebb and flow. There's one generation after the other of similar age children. They never grow up, as it were. And one should keep that in mind. One would hope that the clients of the daycare live in the neighborhood. That's the ideal situation where they can walk their children and not have to use the car or drive them to the daycare. It would be nice in this particular example to see some numbers rather than, yes, we have some of each kind, but numbers do matter, percentages do matter, and that would be nice to have in a report. The district north of Vancouver, however, has a responsibility to inform the community, giving both the pros and cons of having these facilities in neighborhoods, so that the people surrounding these proposed facilities can provide informed positions on this issue. They don't go in there sort of completely unknown. And I think a little more information, and certainly not holding these public meetings during the summer break. I think that's never a good idea. It doesn't give me a feeling that you're properly consulted the neighborhood. The bottom line of saying something to council is that I urge you, your council, to listen carefully to those most negatively impacted, the adjacent neighbors. And that's all I have to say on the matter. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Cost, for your comments. I believe I had a hand here in the house, so welcome, come on up. If you can start with your name and approximate address for the record, that'd be appreciated.
Certainly. Oops, sorry. My name is Al Bushby, partner to Andrea Steele, who's already previously spoken, and my daughter Ray has attended the daycare, so I'm here speaking for the daycare again. So just to counterpoint the last esteemed gentleman for his comments, I cannot think of a more hardworking, dedicated, family-focused, and loving individual than Fatima and her family. And the service they bring to this community is second to none, in my opinion. My daughter has attended a number of different daycares, either on a daily basis or for a long time with the applicants. And I think it would be patently obvious that granting her a business license to expand her daycare would be in the greatest possible benefit for the community. I think you've heard lots of people's opinions here. They've all said the same thing, which I think stands to validate what we're all here to do right now, which is to encourage you guys to give her business license. I'm a dyed-in-the-wool cynic, self-confessed grumpy old bugger, and I don't hand out my comments in terms of supporting someone lightly. I have gotten to this point by being fairly guarded in the way that I would protect my daughter and her development, and I believe that she has received nothing but the finest care and opportunities for growth and learning that are available on the North Shore. And I think moving forwards, giving her that chance to grow that and share that with more young children in this community will only seek to enrich and grow our community in the best possible fashion. I Googled the motto that sits behind you before I came in, before we sat down, that the mountains and the rivers shape us, and we draw inspiration from that. Fatima is the living embodiment of what it means to shape and encourage and uplift our community. She's a cornerstone of my family's experience in our young family, and I could only hope that other children might have that shared experience. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. I don't see any further speakers at that time, virtually or in person. So at this point, I'm going to check in with staff. Staff received any questions from council members that need to be addressed? And just checking in with council members, did anybody have a question that they wanted clarified by staff at this point in the process? Okay, so I'm going to return back to the public speaking list. I'm going to ask, would anybody else like to address the council for a first or second time? Yes, welcome. I believe it's Lauren Dubois-Bruce. Is that?
Yes, thank you. I would just wanted to add something when it comes to transportation and noise. Maybe that's something that should have been highlighted a little better. Some of the parents are using bikes or walk to daycare. And as Fatima said, most of the time, maybe like 75% of the time, we do park at the fields to pick up kids that are playing at the soccer field in the afternoon. Just wanted to address that noise concern.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Would anybody else like to address the hearing a first or second time? Okay, hearing none. Would anybody like to address the council a first, second, or third time? Okay, I would say that we have exhausted the public speakers list at this point. Mr. Clerk, do you accept that? Okay, at this point, council, I'll look to you for a motion. Councilor Forbes is moving that the public information meeting now be closed. It's seconded by Councilor Curran. Any other discussion on that? Sorry, Councilor Bond, was your hand in seconding support? Is that, there you go. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so it is moved and seconded. We'll call the question on the motion. All those in favor, contrary minded, motion carries. So just to clarify what has happened here. So the decision takes place at a regular meeting of council. Mr. Clerk, can you verify what date we're considering for that to be before the regular council?
October 3rd is the plan, Your Worship.
Yeah, and so what happens is the intent is to have it on October 3rd, but you do have to wait until the week of to see the verified final agenda for the meeting at that time. And then the council will have its opportunity to make its comments and make its decision on the extension of the license at that point. So at this point, as far as we're concerned, the matter is closed and we're waiting for opportunity for council to speak on October 3rd. But I want to thank everybody for coming out and sharing their comments and concerns. And also thank you to the staff for preparing the reports today. We do appreciate it. Everybody have a fantastic evening. Good night.